What is happening, people? Welcome back to the Scarfey Talks Premier League podcast. Should be a good one as we look forward and preview to game week 13. It's a busy fixture schedule, so it's constantly rolling, it's fair to say. But no, it should be a good one because it was a crazy game week 12, which you've already reviewed. But now we're looking ahead to that ultimate game week 13. Should be a big one because there are still big games in there. There was in game week 12. But let's introduce tonight's panel. Firstly, of course, I'm Harry Scarfe, your host, as always, from now. I'm joined firstly by Mark, Arsenal fan from the Ashburton Grove. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm just bored of football, mate. Arsenal just winning everything. It's just like it's getting to a point. I'm going to start taking up chess or something like that. Just get entertainment.
Right, we'll come back to that at the end of the year, right? That's all I'm going to say. But you're looking good. To be fair, you look really good. Good stuff. Thank you very much for your time. Phil, already you're in my good books. Spurs fan, thank you so much for coming on. Phil, how you doing?
I'm not doing too badly, mate. Thinking about the past results that we've had, 9 goals in 2 games conceded, so it's a bit of a tough one to take, but apart from that, mate, I'm doing all right. Yeah, doing all right.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Phil. And Nipph, Chelsea fan, thank you so much for coming on. How are you doing?
Not bad. Thanks for having me on.
No worries at all. Should be good. So we've got an Arsenal fan, we've got a Tottenham fan, and we've got a Chelsea fan. So there we go. 3 London rivals. There we go. That's fallen tonight. It should be a good one. Great panel to join me. But thank you to everyone in the YouTube chat. We'll go through some of your comments. Wills is very happy to see you, Phil. Big up to Barney as well. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments. We've got a couple already putting in the comments. We've got a few watching. So big up to all of you. Before we get into game week 13, there was an interesting discussion behind the kind of scenes that people don't see in the back room, the green room, whatever you want to call it. It's to do with a load of different things, but mainly England and Scotland. So, Nipph, can I start with you? What was the point that you were trying to make that you want to continue? Go for it.
See how much he hates, to see if he loves Arsenal more than he hates the English. And that's exactly what I found out, that he'd be happy for the English players. Sorry, he'd be happy for the Arsenal players to see them with the World Cup.
I would, 100% I would. How can you, like we all support our football clubs, and we're probably all obsessed with our football clubs, and they take us on a roller coaster of life, of highs and lows, etc. We've all suffered these journeys one way or another, regardless of what team that we support. But if you're on that journey, how can you hate on your players going on to win a World Cup? I don't get that. I seriously don't. You telling me that, like, when England, I'll give, for instance, England was at the Euros and you didn't win against Italy, I went to penalties, and Saka missed a penalty. Do you think I was happy at that? This is like it's insanity.
A lot of your fan base were, though. A lot of your fan base were.
Yes, because you are going to get rivalry between Scotland and England, and that's been there for. It's in our national anthem. It's been there for hundreds of years, and it'll continue. But for me, being an Arsenal fan, I cannot hate Declan Rice with the World Cup above his head, Bukayo Saka with the World Cup above his head, and Miles Lewis-Skelly. How can I hate on that?
There's no guarantee that Skelly gets in the England squad now. Come on.
You'll be surprised how many Scottish Man United fans I know would rather see their English players not win a World Cup.
If it came down to it, like fantasy world, we're playing FIFA to like 2025. Scotland are playing England.
That's never going to happen in a World Cup.
It's not. It's never going to happen. But just say it did, right? I am picking Scotland to win. And Bukayo, I'm going to send you flowers. I'm going to send you tissues. Declan, I'm going to do the same. Of course, I want Scotland to win. But I am never for 1 second going to hate on England going into a World Cup with Arsenal players playing for them. It's just, why? That is insanity for me. It's
Man United,
absolutely.
Scottish Man United fans do it with Man United players all the time.
But
Yeah, but
that's
they're
the
Man
problem.
United fans, though. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fair.
that's
That's fair.
different. I think like one of the comments I brought up is if all the English players that were African actually played for their African countries, an African team would win the World Cup. Maybe we should talk about that.
Or how about maybe we should talk why Lyndon Dykes isn't playing for Australia? Let's talk about that as well, if you're going to go down that route.
I'm shameless. I do not care. Harvey Barnes is 100% Scottish, and he should be in the Scotland side, and he might go to the World Cup.
Okay,
I am
if
shameless.
that's the logic you're using,
Absolutely.
if that's the logic you're using, by that same logic, Lyndon Dykes should be playing for Australia.
No, it's not. Actually, I don't care about Lyndon Dykes. I actually don't think he's good enough to play for the Scottish national team. In all fairness, he could be Australian as he likes. But I seriously don't care. I think we've got Lord Shankland up top that is, for me, a better goal scorer than Lyndon Dykes. Lyndon Dykes is a bit like a Rory Delap, kind of bully with no end product and absolutely offers nothing at all to a football team. That is it. So yeah, you want to send Lyndon back to Australia? I'm there. Do it. Let's do it.
I'm not sending it. I'm not the Home Office.
Listen, take away his passport. I don't care. I do not care. But what you going to do with your Rory Delap at the weekend? Because I'm going to have the biggest laugh ever when it comes to Rory Delap this weekend. My God, what a waste of money.
Rory or Liam? You're getting
Liam. Sorry, Liam.
I don't even think he'll get minutes, to be fair. You probably won't even see him.
He started last
He might
weekend.
get like 3 minutes at the end.
No,
He'll
he
probably
started
do.
last weekend.
It'll come at, how many minutes did he get last weekend?
He played. He started.
He started.
Yeah.
I mean, that was against Burnley, though.
I watched the game, and Chelsea were horrendous against Burnley. But we do need to speak about the yellow card, because that, Harry, honestly, you bring sense to football podcasts, right?
Mm.
There was a Chelsea player pushing a player off the park, Burnley player off the park, and the referee gave him a yellow card, but didn't give a penalty. Can you give a yellow card without it being a foul? Is that even possible? And that's when Chelsea were 1-0 up, by the way, and it was in the 82nd minute.
But at that
Burnley should have had
point,
a
were they still 1-0 up, or was it 2-0?
1-0 up, and they were 1-0 up.
1-0
It
up.
should be a penalty. But that player done that to the Chelsea player. Done it. I'm sure our Chelsea counterpart will actually be able to give us more insight into that. But you got a yellow card. Chelsea player got a yellow card and no penalty given. Why?
I don't know. Look, refereeing decisions usually go against us, so I'm not complaining.
Go against you. Have you ever
what
watched
you
the
guys
Spurs
get.
game, mate? Blimey. Ever watched the Spurs game? Every decision is against us.
The man that
Every
brought in
single
the
one.
Chelsea pass on the referees, are you telling me that like every decision goes against you? You actually been serious?
Let's
You're
be honest
playing
with
off the
you.
ref.
Fans of every club, I think, say the same thing. The officials are against us. So I've heard it so many times. You know,
Except- I mean,
every club
Liverpool-
will say it. Every club will say it.
I mean,
That's
I
not
think
against us,
there's
the refs
one
are
thing
against
that we
us.
can all agree on, though, is that Liverpool fans will say, oh, yeah, we don't get the decisions. But every other fan in the league can clearly see that they get every decision given to them. And when
Do you
it's
know-
the right decision, it's the wrong decision for them. It's like,
Do you know
well,
what?
where's the logic?
Well, I'm actually going to shock you on this. Arsenal's second goal against Spurs last weekend was absolutely a stonewall offside.
Oh, I didn't see it. I was in Ireland. So I was
yeah.
literally, I was on a night out. And I looked at my phone, I looked up, so it was 1-0, then 2-0. I was just like, you know what, I just can't even be bothered. And I just put my phone down and I didn't even look at it. So I was out of it, and I didn't even watch the highlights. I can't bring myself to it.
Yeah, Phil, honestly, the ball comes in, Trossard, and there was another two players are running right past the keeper's line of vision. as the ball goes in as he scores. It is 100% stonewall offside.
It's mental how decisions like that can be given though, because it's so inconsistent. I feel like there's another talking point within just like leagues in general. I feel like Champions League, like the European competition, have their own separate issues to which I've mentioned to a few people, but you've still got inconsistencies within the Premier League at the moment in English football, where there's decisions that are being made one week, but then the complete opposite is made the next week, and there's no consistency with what refs are doing. And it's like, well, us as fans that are watching it, we can't think, oh well, is that going to be that decision or is it going to be this? Because we don't know what it's going to be, because they change their mind every week. So what are we meant to do as fans? You can't celebrate a goal anymore, because you always have that thought in the back of your mind thinking, is it offside? So
Yeah, I agree.
the feeling of the feeling of an actual goal back before VAR was implemented is completely gone now. You could have celebrated a goal, but then the ref would have put his flag up, and there were goals that were offside but were given, but we didn't have VAR. So I think everyone learned from it. I think VAR has many positives but also has many negatives, and I think it is showing season in, season out at this point.
Before we get to the Game Week 13 preview, I've got a question which Phil's just made me think of to go around to the panel, and it's a quick fire answer. You can briefly justify why. I want your thoughts, VAR. So, let's just say, because we're going into very close to going into a new year, 2026. I know it doesn't work like that in terms of football season, but let's pretend it almost did. Would we scrap, keep, or reform VAR? You can keep it and tweak a couple of things. When I say reform, I'm thinking like fundamental, huge changes, like in the complete different way it's used and operated. Mark, I'll start with you. Would you scrap, would you keep, or would you reform VAR?
I would reform, and I'll tell you the way that I would do it. I would actually take the power away from referees completely, and I would have VAR as like TMO in rugby. I don't know if you watch TMO in rugby. Yeah. I would have that exact same thing. So we're just starting to see the introduction of microphones coming out. So people in the stadium, that's the first thing. Paying customers or pay good money to go to a football game are the first informed, rather than waiting 5 minutes for to find out what's going on and having no idea. So that needs to be done. But I also think, I don't think that our referees are corrupt, Harry. But I want to take this element away. If you have, like we had for the North London Derby, Michael Oliver, and he's the worst referee ever to referee Arsenal. Now, I could give loads of incidents of that, but let me not do a massive monologue. But
what do you mean worst referee to referee Arsenal? You won that game.
No, I won that game. I won that game, but I didn't win against Man City on numerous occasions, and there was multiple decisions. He was paid £20,000 for one game to go over to Saudi for the city owners, the person that owns that. So was the two linesmen, and also the fourth official. So if you bring in a TMO system, I think you take that direction away from the referee. I actually think that you take, even subconsciously, if Oliver, and I'm not just blaming Oliver, we've seen corruption with Coots, we've just seen corruptions with other people as well. If you take that element away from it and have a TMO system where they're actually in charge, they're responsible for what goes on in the park. Let's face it, VAR asks the referee to come to the screen. 99 times out of 100, the referee goes with VAR. So if you've got someone on VAR that subconsciously, and I'm saying subconsciously, so I'm not being brutal on them, have an agenda or anything else, or something should flow in a certain way, they won't guide the referee at all. TMO does. TMO stops it. And I really believe that for the billions that comes into the Premier League, this needs to happen 1,000,000%. I'm not saying referees are corrupt. I mentioned about the second goal that we got from Oliver this week. So only one in God knows how many weeks. Liverpool, Van Dijk scored a perfect good goal. Robertson was not even blocking the referee's vision. The goalkeeper's vision. Ducks down, ball goes in the net, gets chopped off. This needs to stop within our game. So for me, Harry, I would just reform it a bit. I would just tweak it and make it a bit better, but I would take a bit of power away from the referees.
Thank you, Mark. So you'd reform it. Appreciate that, and you explained nicely why as well. Thank you. Phil, what would you do? Keep, scrap, reform, VAR?
I'm very much in between scrap and reform it. I think reform as the same points that Mark had made, but I think scrapping it, I think if you look back to before we had it, albeit there'd be decisions that when you're at games you'd be shouting at the ref, or when you're at home watching it on the TV, you'd be shouting at your telly thinking, well, that should have been a pen, or it should have been a red or a yellow or whatnot. But it gives that added excitement to a goal, to whatever decision is made. And I think with VAR introduced, as I mentioned earlier, when there is a goal, even last night, I know it's off topic from the Prem, but when we scored against PSG, I'm thinking, can I celebrate? Can I actually celebrate a goal in case of it being offside? So I think I'm more leaning towards scrapping it, even though quite a few people would say, well, that's a stupid idea. But I think scrapping it would just give us that old feeling that we had before we had VAR. If you look back to it, we didn't have it. And as soon as it got introduced, why have all these problems happened? Albeit technology's taken over and whatnot. But I think before all of that, the VAR business took over, I think all of us would look at it. It gives you as well. It gives you something to talk about after the game to your mates or whatnot. When you're down the pub, you can say, "Oh, that should have been a red," and it creates debate. Whereas now it's all online, social media, and people are arguing on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. So I think, in my opinion, scrapping it is the best idea. But I think the next best idea, which is probably what people would want to hear, is to reform it, tweak it in a way into which it makes it more beneficial and easier to watch, use, whatever it may be. So yeah, that's what I would go with.
That's really fair. Thank you, Phil. Makes some really good points, because there are some things we've got to be careful of, and certainly isn't going in the right direction. But for me, I'd lean towards scrap, but then I just see, moments where I just think that's VAR used perfectly, or used where it should be. So I think if I had to choose, I'd go with reform. I don't think he needs huge reform. I don't think it's going to take that long, but I think he needs some level of reform. Thank you, Phil. Nipph, what about for you? VAR.
It needs a reform. I'm sorry. Yeah. Scrapping it won't do anyone any favors. Because even before VAR was introduced, there were genuine goals which should have stood. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring the World Cup back into this. For example, the ghost goal in South Africa.
But isn't that not off VAR? That's off goal line technology, which is a completely different type of technology, though.
Still, VAR... It's something that VAR would have double checked, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we've had that. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of you for that. Let's get into what tonight is all about. And there's a Game Week 13 preview, because like I said, there are some quite big and interesting games in there. So we'll go through, of course, as always, and preview literally every single game. So we'll go through that starting from now. And the first game we've got, if it lets me scroll up, you'll find out, is Brentford against Burnley. Not the most exciting, arguably, but still a key game. Keith Andrews, who Brentford, I think, is doing a great job. Scott Parker could do with the points. Nippon, I'll start with you. How do you see this game going? Say score predictions. We'll come up that at the end, but how do you view it going?
See it going one of two ways. Either... Look, I don't want to say anything without giving the score away, but it's not going to.
Tell you what, you can give your score now. Give your thoughts on your score.
You know what? I can only see this going one of two ways: either a Brentford win or a Burnley win. I don't see a draw. Put it that way.
No, go on. We do score predictions now as well. With your thoughts, go on.
2-1 Brentford.
Okay, thank you very much, Phil. What are your thoughts on this game, and what do you think the score will be?
It's Brentford at home, and they've actually been quite good at home, to be fair. That's what I'm looking at. I don't think Burnley away have been decent. So I'd say, 3-1 Brentford. Yeah, 3-1 Brentford.
Okay, thank you. So we've got 2 Brentford wins so far. Mark, are you also backing Keith Andrews' Brentford side?
Yeah, 100%, Harry. Burnley at home are like they're different kettle of fish, and they will take points off people. I don't think they're travelling well at all, and we're seeing that out the Championship sides this year. So, I can't see anything other than like a Brentford win, and I actually agree with Phil. I probably would go for a 3-1 on this.
I mean, that Igor
Yeah.
Thiago looks banging form as well. He looks really good. Unexpected as well for this season.
100%. He's doing really, really well. Phil, can I ask you about Keith Andrews? Because, of course, we're both Tottenham fans here, and Thomas Frank's taken over at Tottenham. And how do you think they've coped without him? Because they've, of course, let a lot of players go, but Keith Andrews has come in. I think he's done a really good job.
I think for the task that he had in terms of losing Mbeumo, he's lost Visser as well, which were their 2 main players under Thomas Frank last season. I think losing them is going to be massive to how they then react from that. And with the way that they've started the season, I mean, in my predictions for who will finish where, I'm relatively sure I put them quite low, and I regret that now. I think the way in which he's gotten them playing football and how they're playing football, albeit they're not winning every game as we don't expect that, but they're getting results to which I think a few of us would think that's not really what we expected. Like, was it City? Was it a draw they got against City, or a win? I can't remember. It was a few game weeks back now, but even games like that under new management, under Thomas Frank, I would have said, right, they'd probably have a chance, but under Keith Andrews, I would have said, I don't know, but they've been really good this season, and I think he's doing a very good job with the squad that he's had, and he'll build on that in January and hopefully in the summer as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Mark, coming back to you in terms of Burnley and Scott Parker, how much of a chance do you think they've got of staying in the Premier League? Are they up against it?
I think, no, I don't. I think Wales are gone, Harry, if I'm being perfectly honest. So I do think that there is scope in the Premier League. And like, I'm speaking to Arsenal fans right now about not getting excited at this moment in time. But there's like talk of us winning quadruples and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. But it's too early to say. The reason I said that, it's too early to say November, like where teams will be. I think that Leeds are probably the team to struggle out the 3 Championship clubs that have came up this season. And I think Scott Parker I think he's done an absolutely amazing job. Absolutely amazing job. And what I'm seeing from Burnley at this moment in time, it was a difficult game for Arsenal away. And we do need to touch on the away. And Phil made some great points as well there. See, sometimes if a club is really well run, and we could all like take this into our own football club, if a club is really well run, you could lose a manager, you could lose certain players, and the drop-off is not as significant as you would expect it to be. And I think Brentford are one of the clubs. They're a bit like Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Just to have a dig at Chelsea, because I'm obviously playing Chelsea this weekend. But Brighton had a certain manager that went to Chelsea and absolutely flopped. We all know who that is. and he then went on to another club in London, and he flopped again.
Now he's with Sweden.
Yeah. So is it possible? That's not sure, right? But is it possible that clubs sometimes are so well run that even when you lose certain things, and as Phil said, you lose a manager. I really rate Thomas Frank. I hate saying this. I really do rate him. I think he's a fantastic manager, but I'm doing that on the scope that I've got, and that is of Brentford, and then obviously Tottenham, but it's the club itself that is built. If the infrastructure is correct, then you then can survive after like losses. So for me, just going back to answer your question, Harry, and I know when about we're running about weight, I think Burnley will be all right. I don't think they're going to do anything absolutely amazing. They maybe finish 15th, which I'm sure was above Spurs last season. But
all right.
That was last season. All right.
How many trophies did Spurs win last season?
They won a charity. They won a charity Europa League.
Come on!
Come
Champions
on,
of Europe.
You'd be jumping up and down if you'd won that. Come on.
Go on, Nipph.
Listen, it was a charity one.
Let him know. Let him know.
Let me be very clear. If Arsenal had won a Europa League, there'd be trophy parades all over North London. I'm telling you now.
Even today, there would be, yes.
Yeah.
If Arsenal won the Europa League, I would be absolutely offended, and I'd be having cronkies out, banners.
Of course you would.
The plane would be flying over London, screaming out, cronkies out, that we're in the Europa League in the first place. Don't even get me to the Conference League, bro.
Trophy's a trophy, mate.
You win the Europa League, it gets you in the Champions League.
Exactly. Thank you.
And it gives you 100 million as well. You got a trophy and 100 million
down. No teams dropped down from the Champions League into the Europa League. It was a charity. Absolutely. Who did you play in the semi-final?
Who was it actually? It was Bodo. And yet Bodo are in the Champions League. And they're in the Champions League.
But Arsenal fans said Tottenham wouldn't play teams like Frankfurt and wouldn't play teams like Bodo in the Champions League, but we play both. So that's totally false. That's a false narrative. They're both Champions League clubs.
Honestly, you guys are clutching at straws. Honestly, you guys are clutching at straws.
When was your last European trophy, Mark?
Exactly.
Last European trophy.
When was it?
Is that what you're getting? Harry, is this what you're giving? Harry, is this what you're giving? Look at my football club.
Yeah, when was your last European trophy?
I mean, we can give it large. You haven't won anything in Europe.
Honestly, you still have to go for charges, bro. Abramovich is passing out brown envelopes.
I mean, we can't really give it large to a Chelsea fan because
I'm not going to let you off with
that
this.
is possible
He's
to win.
up there with City. You will answer your charges and you will be stripped of your titles. Cheaters.
You're bitter. You're just bitter.
I'm not bitter, bro.
Yes,
I'm speaking facts. I'm speaking facts. Brown envelopes. Oil money. Where you go. Since you're found guilty.
Brother, you're run by a state. The UAE. Emirates across your...
No, but not. They're sponsors, bro. They're sponsors.
Yeah, you're moving the goalposts.
I'm not moving no goalposts.
You're taking money. You're taking money from a state.
Right. Mate, I'll take a tenner off you tonight. I don't care. You're
a Chelsea tenner off me.
It's irrelevant.
Right, okay. Right, this is not linked to Brentford and Burnley. Let's get a little bit topic. Love it. Oh dear, totally Gameweek 13 related. But Man City versus Leeds is second game of the weekend. So there is no 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. There is no Friday night game. So we have to wait till Saturday 3 p.m, which is a little bit of a pain. But it is City and Leeds. I mean, we all know that City will be the favourites. Phil, I'll start with you. I wouldn't usually ask, how do you see this game going? But I think you could answer that for me. But what do you think the score will be?
If we're looking at City's last result, I mean, they lost, 2-0 to Bayer Leverkusen, wasn't it? In the Champions League. We're talking all-round results. Not entirely sure. It was 3... No, was it It wasn't 3-0 Liverpool. I can't remember who they played in the Prem
Oh, yeah, they
after
lost
Liverpool.
They lost to Newcastle 2-1, didn't they?
2-1. That was it.
Right.
I would say, considering 2 losses on the bounce, they'll come back. They'll start probably the strongest team that they have, if not close to it. So I'd go 4. It's either going to be 4-0, 4-1. I think they are leaky at the back, but it's dependent on whether Leeds actually do anything, to which they may not, may do. I don't know. But I'll go 4-0. 4-0 City.
But you totally back Man City. You don't see any chance of an upset at all?
I don't think so. I think out of all 3 clubs that have come up, as Mark said, that Leeds do look the weakest out of the 3. So I would go 4-0. 4-0 City, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Nippon, what about for you? How do you see this game going and your score prediction?
I'm going to go for an upset.
Yeah? Go on.
Man City 1, Leeds United 2.
Oh, you've got all the way and the Leeds win. Why do you think that?
Yeah. Because Man City have a knack, even when they were good, of dropping points to newly promoted teams. For example, we saw it against Norwich a few seasons ago. And I think even Sheffield United did one over them as well.
Okay.
I mean, Brentford did a double, didn't they? I don't know.
Yeah, Brentford did the double over them as well.
So you think Leeds will win? And that'd be huge, wouldn't it, Nippon, for Daniel Farke? A little bit of pressure on him, 3 defeats in the bounce. Be a huge result. See if he can get it. Thank you. Mark, how do you see this game going and your score prediction?
Honestly, if anyone has plays football fantasy league, captain, and you've got Haaland in your side, captain on, he's scoring 5. This is going to be an absolute walk in the park for Man City.
5. You think
5?
he's
Oh,
scoring
100%. 100%. Do you know they've
Pep doesn't usually. Pep won't let him score that much. He's taken people off before getting hat tricks.
Oh no! Haaland is going to go berserk. Pep rotated 10 players for the Champions League game.
Yeah, it's true.
That wasn't very clever, was it?
If they qualify, it doesn't matter. Liverpool last season won the Champions League group and got PSG and got knocked out in the next round. So maybe Pep's just been maybe he's thinking's just a bit deeper. Honestly, I think this is going to be a whitewash for Man City. I'm not saying Haaland will score all 5, but I really do. There's absolutely no chance whatsoever that Leeds are scoring against Man City, and I do see a 5-0 scoreline.
And you see Haaland scoring all 5. So
no, I'm not saying he's going to, but he's going to. Do you know what? I think Haaland could possibly score 3. I think Man City are Haaland right now for me. If Haaland gets injured, Man City's title race is over and done with. But that guy is a robot, and I just think that he'll fill his boots against Leeds. I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be an incredible game. I'm sorry to say it, Leeds, but it's just they will be hammered by Man City.
Okay, I want to briefly talk about then. Because we spoke about Man City, in terms of struggles and, if they get back to winning ways. But Leeds United and Daniel Farke, we can't ignore there is growing pressure on the Leeds boss. There was, if you remember, about 3 or 4 days discussion in the summer about should Leeds even sack him before the season starts? Should they bring in someone that's more guaranteed, if you like, to keep them up? And Leeds, I think, done a good job in the transfer market. Phil, I'll come back to you. I mean, how do you view, the job that Daniel Farke has done would be the level of pressure on him? Is it growing, would you say?
I think, I mean, if we even look back to the start of the season, I think the pressure was growing from there. I mean, you've had all of the teams around him or around Leeds buying players, selling players, getting the players that they need to create the ideal squad that they need. But I never really saw any news about Leeds. I mean, even now, I haven't really paid attention to anyone that they did bring in, even if they did. But I think that pressure's been there from the start of the season, and it's just been growing and growing and growing with every result. I mean, they got result against Everton, I think it was, at the start of the season. And after that, I can't really remember anything else, if I'm honest. So he is quite close. I mean, even before the season started, there was talk of him being fired as Leeds manager. And I'm like, well, the season hasn't even started and we haven't got long left till the season actually starts. So the new manager, whoever they bring in, won't have a pre-season. But on Daniel Farker and Leeds in general, as I mentioned earlier, I think they're out of the three teams to have come up, they are the weakest, and that is evident from the way that they play away from home and at home.
Yeah.
And they haven't really got the players to compete in the Prem. They've got quality players, of course, but out and out quality throughout the entire team, I don't think it's there. And I would very much say that they are going to be a yo-yo club for the next few years unless anything major happens in terms of investing into the squad.
Yeah. Phil, can I just come back at you with that? Sorry, Harry, if you don't mind. I've watched Leeds a few times this season, and they have kind of been really quite exciting. And
Yeah.
they have been exciting, and like they do look defensively quite strong. I think Parker's done a pretty decent job, but I think where the problem lies, and I think it's been like this for not last season in the Championship, but when they're in the Premier League. The problem that they had was signing Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And they had Bamford beforehand as well. They just do not look like they can score a goal.
I think, yeah, it's a massive issue. I mean, if you look at any club, when you don't have a striker that is good enough or on form, I mean, that's your main point of goals to win games. I mean, that's what wins your games. But yeah, I think that is one of the signings, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and like I don't get that as a signing. I know that Leeds need a striker, but I mean they're Leeds at the end of the day. You would expect a better striker than him. Not saying that he's a terrible player, but surely for upcoming players there has to be better. And for a club like Leeds, given the seasons that they've had before in the Prem in recent years as well, they've pulled decent results out the bag and they've had a very good squad. But other teams have seen that inside Europe, inside the Prem, and thought, well, we'll have that player, and they take them away. And I think that's what we've seen, that they didn't really reinvest properly. And as you said, they're quite exciting, but exciting football, albeit they're not getting the end product that they need because the striker that they have isn't high enough caliber. And I think within a team like Leeds, in order to keep you up, you will need a striker that is high enough caliber. And in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they haven't got that.
I agree 100% with that.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on then to our next game, Sunderland against Bournemouth. I'm sure Sunderland would have been disappointed to lose 1-0 away to Fulham. We've got Barney in the chat who is a Fulham fan. I think Sunderland went into that and were really poor. They didn't really show much fight at all and should have lost by more than one. It took Fulham for a long time to score. Mark, I'll start with you on this game. Can I get your score prediction? Are you going to back Sunderland to continue their good form, in particular at home?
Yeah, I'm not going to do the ball not lose, but Bournemouth are also like they are. I think they've got one of the best managers with Arteta in the Premier League, if I'm being honest. So I personally, Harry, I'm going to go for a draw on this one. Sunderland are difficult, and like we witnessed that when Arsenal went up there. We conceded, like someone's put 2-2 as a score prediction, and that was scored by Arsenal. and I can see it kind of being an open game between two of them. So I would probably go for a 2-2 as well. Bournemouth is really fast on transition, like mega fast. Sunderland will try to keep it defensive. They'll not be as defensive as what they were against Arsenal. But I do like they're a major threat. Like Sunderland are so impressive at home. Unfortunately, they don't travel well, but they are so impressive at home. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2, Harry. Probably
Okay.
off my head, but it's very difficult game to predict.
Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that, Mark. So you're going with 2-2 in that game. Willsy's going with 2-2. Big up to him. Lead thumbnail designer, a good friend of mine, and Phil's too. Barney says 1-1. So yeah, all draw so far with Sunderland against Bournemouth. Nipph, you surprised with that prediction earlier. Are you going to surprise me with this one, Sunderland against Bournemouth?
I'm gonna go for another draw. Well, not
Yeah?
another draw. I think this is my first draw of the podcast.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
so.
I'm going to go for a draw.
What score in particular? What, 0-0, 1-1, 2-2?
Desmond. 2-2.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Got another 2-2. It's a popular score for this game. Thank you. Phil, what do you think the score will be?
I'm switching this up. I'm saying at home, I'm going to go 2-1 Sunderland. I think they've been very, very good at home. Not great travelling, as Mark said. So I am, 2-1. Even though Bournemouth have got a lot of class within their squad. They got Semenyo, Evan Nilsson as well. A few more players as well. But I think the Sunderland fans are just mental in general. I mean, they're always up for it no matter what game, and I think that stadium builds a lot of atmosphere. And the squad in itself, I think they've performed, maybe outperformed, if that's what you would want to call it, from where people predicted it this season. So I would say 2-1 Sunderland for that game.
Okay. Thank you very much. So appreciate your score there. I mean, also, Phil, to ask you with Bournemouth, what have you made of them? Because they look like a good side, but also, they feel like they can fall apart, defensively. It's not quite the defence they had last season.
I would say, because they had Zabani last season, didn't they? And they sold him to PSG. They had Kirkes as well last season, sold him to Liverpool, and now look how he's doing. I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably missing out on maybe a few players there, and I apologise for that. But in terms of their defensive record and going back to just their all-round game, when we played them earlier on in the season, we looked woeful against them. I mean, they embarrassed us. I mean, luckily the score was only 1-0. But they look very good. They break quickly. They're very good on the counter, and they're very they're crossing as well. The players that they have to get the ball into the box, to get an accurate ball, is phenomenal. And that's a dangerous thing about them. And I think, as much as their defensive record hasn't been brilliant this season, not saying that it has been the worst, but I still think, due to the players that they have further up the pitch, they do still look a very good squad. In comparison, I would compare them to Forest last season, not in terms of defensive, but in no one really expected them to be where they are at this point in the season, and they could continue that into later parts of the season.
Good
And
stuff.
to be fair, it is nice to see Sunderland back in the Prem. Because
this is what I said as well. Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, they were a mainstay in the Premier League. Like, so for that perspective, it's nice.
I know it's off topic, but I was thinking about it, and I'd like to see more of those old school teams in the Prem. I mean, I'd like to have Sunderland stay up. I'd want to have Norwich back there, Swansea, Southampton. Who else? Hull as well.
Portsmouth.
Having those back up as well, and it gives you kind of that retro feeling of a league that it's not going to be the same teams every season with 3 clubs coming up. You get a different mix that it could be a Sunderland, a Norwich, a West Brom, even a Swansea that you're going away to, and it mixes things up not only for us to watch but as fans to go to.
Yeah, you know, another club I'd love to see back, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might be going to League One at the moment.
They might even be joining Sheffield United at this point with the way that things are going with them. Might be
Do you know what?
combining the
Their
clubs.
owners.
What do you mean? What do you mean Sheffield United? Are they doing badly in the Championship?
No, I think they're looking at joining the clubs together. I mean, I saw something about it on social media that they're trying to join the clubs together. I don't know if it was just like paper talk or whatnot, but if that does happen, well, I don't really know what to call on that.
Wait, what? Am I hearing this correct? Am I hearing this correctly?
Yeah.
2 rivals merging to form one club.
Yeah.
Stupid,
isn't it? Could you imagine Spurs and Arsenal doing that?
Mess.
Rubbing hands left, right, and centre.
No. This is making. Okay.
This is surprising.
Honestly,
I don't know what to say to this. This has left me speechless.
Sheffield Wednesday are almost on the brink of going into administration. They are in a really, really bad place. Sheffield United are not doing much better. So that's possibly
It's
why.
just like a...
Yeah.
So what will
That's
they call
possibly
themselves?
why.
Sheffield
It's
City?
sad. It's sad, but it could be a strong possibility.
So what are they going to call themselves? Sheffield City?
We'll have to find out and see, I guess.
Have to find out. Yeah, who knows?
I mean, but that's 2 historic clubs gone, like into oblivion.
Indeed. Well, we'll have to see what happens with the action. Do the talking there. Go with Everton versus Newcastle as the next game. Mark, I think we have you. Can't see you, but I think we can hear you. What are your thoughts on this game and your score prediction?
Yeah, Tottenham got the first result at the Everton Stadium, which was horrendous. That's in the history books. So I feel sorry for Everton for that one. But Newcastle are they don't travel well. Newcastle have been pretty decent at home. They've really hard. They gave Arsenal a really hard game. They obviously won at City. Liverpool were extremely lucky against them. I don't know if Newcastle's coming into form, but I did watch Man United against Everton, and the bizarrest red card that you could ever have ever.
Yeah.
So the bizarrest red card ever, and then Everton going to win the game 1-0. So this is hard. It's going to be tight. It's going to be so tight. I would give it 2-1 to Everton. I think the players are up for it. See, the one thing about that red card that Everton received on Monday was they are holding players accountable for not doing their job, and I actually like that within a team, Harry. I do like that. I'm not saying that we should go about slapping each other, but there is that passion there, and Moyes is getting out of them. So yeah, I think 2-1 Everton for this one, bro.
Totally agree with you. I think we need to see that. I agree with Moyes. I think he handled it really well with media, by the way. So thank you very much for your score prediction there. I'd say carries a little bit of expectation, I would say, for both teams. You know, for Everton to build on that really good United win, where they got a result with 10 men against the Olds, probably at Old Trafford. David Moyes' first win at Old Trafford too, as a opposing manager. So anyway, it's a huge result for Everton and for Newcastle as well. You know, they go and get that huge win against Man City, and it comes crushing down a little bit. That defeat against Marseille, where they were winning and they let it slip. Nick Pope, moment of madness. So, yeah, both teams will be going into that, I'm sure, with the aim of all 3 points. I'm not saying some teams just go into it, don't they, with the aim of a draw. Both these sides will feel they can win it. That's the difference. Right, Phil, score prediction for this one.
It's tight, because considering both teams, I mean, Everton are very good at home. Not entirely sure on Newcastle being away. I'm gonna go 2-2. Yeah, 2-2.
Okay, thank you very much. Nippon, your score prediction?
I'm going to be the wild card in this and say 2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They've been a bit up and down this year, so it makes sense. I mean, they haven't travelled well, have they? And Everton have got a good home form. So, yes, it will be, a bold prediction. But, again, thank you for your honesty. Then it's Tottenham versus Fulham. And, Phil, I'm absolutely coming to you first on this one. How do you feel as a Spurs fan, firstly, going into it?
Nervy as hell, I won't lie to you. I feel like every game now, considering, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, that we've conceded 9 in 2. So I am quite nervous. But I think there were very good signs in that game yesterday. Kolo Muani obviously getting a brace and an assist. Richarlison going, I think it's 3 goals in 3 now, I believe. Maybe wrong. Someone could correct me on that. But Fulham again, I mean, they played Sunderland last week and they took a while to get through, which is probably no comparison to our defence at the moment, considering the defensive record. But I do want to see a bounce back. I know that our home form isn't great, but considering the way that we played against Arsenal and then PSG and now coming back to the lane, I would say I want to go bold, but I don't know if I can allow myself to. You know what? I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. I'm going to say Kolo Muani and Xavi Simons to get his first goal as well.
Thank you, Phil. Wills says 1-1 with a double pivot of Bentancur and Paulinho. 3-0 if we stop Berger and Gray, Richie, and up top. Yeah, and Rando Kolo Muani as well. Yeah, he's probably right with that, to be honest.
Yeah, spot on.
Barney's a Fulham fan. He says if we play like we did against Sunderland, I think it'd be a good game. He goes on to say, with so many chances, but I'd rather we create chances than none at all. He backs his side to get a point, going 1-1. As a Tottenham fan myself, totally agree. You're right, Phil, to highlight the defensive worries in those last 2 games, and also having 2 players that score hat-tricks. Eze and Vitinha is a big concern for Frank, who prides himself, in terms of being he's not a defensive manager, but he prides himself in being, tactically smart, but also, always in games. Brentford teams, are always in the kind of game till the end. Very tight games, never really lose by much. So this will hurt him this week, no doubt about it. But I thought PSG, we showed a lot more fight. Would that be fair to say, Phil? We come out fighting and more creativity and more intensity.
I'd say there was more resilience. I mean, for me, it was more shock to see us go 1-0 up away at PSG, which was baffling. And then the inevitable happened in 1-1. But I would say it could have been damage limitation. I mean, I'm not going to go onto the penalty rule and the handball rule in Europe, because that's a whole nother story I could get onto for an hour. I think it's stupid, but there were a few mistakes within there, especially at the corner, which is where was it Pacho scored? I'm not entirely sure, and then the Fabian Ruiz goal as well. So those 2 goals could have been just sorted completely if we weren't playing backwards. If we were playing with our head switched on, those could have been avoided. But there were a lot of positives to take. Frustration, but I think 3 goals away at the Champions League holders isn't a bad result, even though we conceded 5, which doesn't show well. But scoring 3 away, I think, has to show for something as well. So, yeah.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that.
No
Mark,
worries,
can
mate.
we could get you to talk about your rivals here in
I'm
Tottenham?
going
Go
to
on.
shock you. I'm going to shock you with this.
Oh.
And I actually think that, see, last week in the North London derby, and like I'm not going to bring Tottenham down even the slightest, and I have stated that I really do like Thomas Frank. I think he's obviously still early stages for him, and he's trying to implement a balance of like what Spurs were playing like under Ange, where the high lines in there, etc., to now to try to be more organised. And in his time, I really do rate this manager. What I seen against Arsenal, which was absolutely unacceptable, was weak mentality from Spurs. If anything at all, they should have absolutely hammered into every Arsenal player, picked up yellow cards, created injuries, just made sure that they won that duel. If it was illegal or not, they should have done that. It was a derby. And I didn't see that. And if I was a Tottenham fan, I would have been so freaking angry just at that alone. If it's not going your way, at least give the fans the commitment, everything else. So I'm expecting from Tottenham a reaction this weekend. I am absolutely expecting a massive, massive reaction. Now, Phil's right. To go to PSG and actually score 3 goals, regardless that you conceded 5, you're given a fight there. You're at least given a fight. And I think that Tottenham have to do that this weekend against Fulham. So I'm predicting, I actually predict Tottenham to win this weekend. And I want to see your players give heart, Harry. I really want to see the heart from your players to the supporters who well and truly deserve it and just win the duels regardless. If it has to be dogged, you have to do it. Just get in there, do the fight. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 Spurs win this weekend.
Thank you. Really appreciate your honesty with that. I like that. Thank you, Mark. Big respect to you. Nippon, score prediction, Tottenham against Fulham.
I'm going for a 3-2 Tottenham win. I'm just adding a goal onto Phil's prediction.
Okay, that'd be 5 goals in the game. Love that. Good stuff. Thank you very, very much. Let's move on then to our next game, because I'm not joking when I say there are a lot of good games in there. And next one is one, really. Palace against Manchester United. Mark, I'll start with you this time. How do you see this game going and your score prediction?
Oh, there's a guaranteed Palace win. Man United are, again, do you know what? Again, I think this season they've massively improved on last season. I watched Monday night against Everton, and United were absolutely, it was beyond a joke. Like within 10 minutes, you're up against 10 men, and you cannot come out of that, even with a draw. Dewsbury Hall scored an absolute worldly, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was ridiculous. And Man United created absolutely nothing. Where I do see they might get a bit of joy is they won't face a kind of low block, but Everton really did push, even with 10 men, really push massively against Man United. And Man United were at home. And do you know what? It was Everton really deserved that win. When they come into Palace are in absolute top form. Again, another absolute amazing manager. Probably another manager that I don't see at Palace at the end of the season. I really don't. He is phenomenal. And we speak about losing players. He's lost players, and the club is that well structured that it's still heading in the right direction. So for me, I think Man United are the way to get absolutely battered. 3-1 for me, Harry.
Okay, thank you very much. 3-1 to kick us off. Nippon, what are you saying?
2-1 United.
Yeah, do you want to say why?
Look, I just see. Look, like Mark said, they've improved from last season, but they're still horrendous. I don't know. I just see them winning this game. 2-1 United.
Okay, thank you very much. Phil, what do you reckon?
I mean, I think there's two factors in this game. I think it's Palace at home and just United in general. I think they're just so inconsistent. It's unreal.
They
And I
are.
know that's ironic coming from a Spurs fan, but my God, I'm thinking the way that Palace have played this season is actually unreal. Like, it is unbelievable. The way in which, like, maybe 5-10 years ago, they had this team that was consistently finishing mid-table, maybe even lower, to where they are now, and they've got very, very, very good players within that team. I know it's gonna be. I don't think United fans will like it, but I'm gonna go 4-1 Palace.
Ooh, 4-1 Palace. It's a big, bold prediction, but it's not silly at all because Palace are good at home. But just to update you, well, I'm going to update you, but last time I checked, Palace were losing in Europe and they've lost. There we go. They've lost to Strasbourg in the Conference League, which would leave them, I think they'd be disappointed this. It would leave them 18th in the
Is
Conference
that
League
home or
table.
away?
Away.
That is
To give
away.
context, but it's not the first day they've lost in the Conference League. Forest winning 3-0. Just going to update on the Premier League clubs, by the way. Villa won 2-1 against Young Boys. They're on fire, Aston Villa, up to third in the Europa League table and thriving in the Premier League. They're the club to watch out for. There we go.
Europa League's nothing to actually talk about, is it? Is
Not
there
got
anything
much
to
in
talk
there
about?
this year.
There was nothing in it last year. Like, there was absolutely zero in it last year. There's nothing in it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Goodness sake. Right, okay. Do you know what? This is accidental, but led me on perfectly because we are talking about Aston Villa next, and it is a derby against Wolves. Phil, this should be interesting, right? Who are you backing?
Oh, well, I think given the way that Villa are right now and how Wolves have been over the season, I just think it is nailed on Villa. I think Villa at home in a derby, albeit not the biggest derby that they have, but still a derby nonetheless. I think the way that they've been this season and the way that Wolves have been, this has got to be Villa easy. I'd say, considering it is a derby, Wolves will get a consolation goal, but I'll go 3-1 Villa.
3-1 Villa, yeah. I think it's right to back Aston Villa in this game. Can Rob Edwards' side come up with a surprise? I don't think so, personally. Nippon, what's your score prediction? Aston Villa and Wolves, mate.
2-1 Villa.
2-1 Villa. Okay. Thank you very much. And Mark?
Yeah, I've got to agree with Phil. Do you know what? I'm not even giving Wolves a goal. They're done. Like, they're gone. This is almost like Southampton last season for me. Absolutely horrendous. Harry, I can't emphasise it enough. Villa are in absolute banging form. Do you know what? 4-0 Villa.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good stuff. Should be a
I'm
good
trying
game.
not to elaborate because I want to speak about Arsenal. So.
No, it's fine. We'll get to all the games. Don't worry. Have a look. It takes Forest and Brighton. Then this is good. Forest have turned a corner, I think, under Sean Dyche. I really do. And Brighton, do you know what? To be fair, I kept saying, just good at home, and they're not really going to go anywhere this season under Fabian Hurst. So, well, they're starting slowly to prove me wrong. Nippon, before we get into score prediction, who have you been more impressed with as of late, Forest or Brighton?
It's hard to say. I mean, Forest have gone through. I think they're on their third manager now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And Brighton still have Fabian Hurstler. I'm not too sure, if I'm honest. I'll say they're doing about the same.
Okay. Thank you very much. To be honest with you, I think they've both done well. I must admit. Brighton, I know it's early days, but I think they've changed a little bit, turned a corner. Maybe I'm wrong. I think the last few games they've looked better. Mark, what do you reckon about this game? Because it is two informed teams.
Yeah, do you know what? Forrester's like so funny. And I'm not, like, this is not an Arsenal hat on. To sack Nuno, who's an absolutely amazing manager, and to bring in Ange, and then go for Sean Dyche, I don't know, like, what direction that football club's going in at all. Then you watch them against Liverpool, and that was not a Sean Dyche team. Winning 3-0, it was ridiculous. It was honestly ridiculous, and they were worthy of the 3-0 win. So you just don't know what you're going to get from them. Brighton bored the 11 daylights out of me. Harry, honestly, I don't watch much television, but when I do, it's normally football. And if Brighton's on my TV, I've probably turned it off. They just absolutely bored the 11 daylights out of me. I'm more likely to fall asleep during a Brighton game than ever. Well-run club, sell well, make a lot of money, to get all that, but they just do not excite me. The stadium does not, the fans do not. Any game that I've watched them do not. It's just nothing against them, but I just find them a really boring side. Will Forest bring Liverpool fell off a cliff or falling off the cliff? We could all agree on that. So is that scoreline flattering Forest? I don't think it is. I think Forest actually are decent, and if you actually have a decent manager in there, not that Sean Dyche is decent, I'm going to go 2-0 Forest on this one.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I don't know who I back for this game. I'm not sure. Tough one. Thank you. Phil, score prediction?
It's a very difficult one to call because, as Mark said, that Liverpool scoreline is it's not really anything that we can take from the season. And I mean, we know that recently Liverpool haven't been great, but I don't know. Brighton, I don't mind watching them. I just feel like that they can be boring. They can get very lucky goals, scrappy goals, if that's the way to put it. Some can be very, very nicely worked or long range hits, but I don't know. I think given that Brighton are away, they're not at home. Some teams have difficulty going away to Brighton, like Spurs. I don't really want to think about that, but I will go Forest 2-1.
2-1. Thank you. Nipph, what did you give your score prediction? I know you did.
For Forest Brighton.
Yeah.
2-1 Forest.
Thank you very much. Let's go into then the next game. Let's scroll down. Moving into West Ham Liverpool, this should be a good one. Mark, what do you reckon score prediction?
Two teams that you have absolutely, guys, I'm not going to advocate for gambling, but if anyone does gamble, please do not bet on West Ham v Liverpool because you have absolutely no idea what you're going to get. The lot is probably the better place to go here. Harry, this is, I could just throw numbers into generate some kind of app and come up with a score prediction. I do not know. I don't know what I'm going to get from West Ham, and I certainly do not know what I'm going to get from Liverpool. Oh man. Do you know what I will say, Harry? Because you weren't on the last podcast. The one thing I will say about Liverpool, and I'm going to try to wean off them a bit. Liverpool had a very short pre-season. They actually didn't get pre-season. Then on top of that, obviously we know the circumstances around Jota, and then you saw Andy Robertson come out after the Scotland qualified and said that Jota was on his mind all day, which tells me that the Liverpool players have nothing but trauma going into their head. Then you go into this season and everyone thought Liverpool are on fire. Look what they're doing. They're beating every team by 1 goal in the 96th minute. And this is like amazing. It wasn't amazing. And well, it was amazing not to be able to do that, probably on adrenaline. So I just don't know. See, this season, honestly, I really do respect Liverpool, and I just want them to. They will come back. They will come back second half of the season. Unfortunately, it's going to be too late for them by that point. But they will have a say in what happens at the bottom of the league, Europe, and also into the winners of the Premier League this season. West Ham on the other side, Harry, honestly, I just do not know at all. At one point, I had them predicted to get relegated. I just do not know.
West Ham or Liverpool?
No, West Ham.
Hopefully both.
No, not Liverpool.
No, I can't have them relegated.
West Ham is honestly, they are absolutely horrendous. For a football club to sell Arsenal Declan Rice for 105 million and not even break even on kudos to Tottenham is it just says everything about that football club. In my opinion, it is absolutely ridiculous. And their stadium's awful. They don't even own it. It's leased. They don't own it. So, do you know what? I'm trying to talk myself into a score prediction here, Harry. 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool. Thank you. Got the ball rolling. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that. It was a monologue. I do apologise.
No, you're fine. I enjoyed listening to you. Nipph, your score prediction for West Ham Liverpool?
I first want to apologise about all the background noise, by the way.
I can't hear much. You're fine.
Oh, it's the printer going off in the background.
No, you're okay.
Okay. Well, it really is trash versus garbage, isn't it?
Quite possibly.
Shots fired.
Indeed.
I'm going to go. God. 2-1. Oh God. You see, it's so hard to predict who's going to win it because they're both crap. I'm sorry for my French.
Predict a draw then. Go the draw.
But they're both gone.
Go for a 0-0.
1-1. I'm sorry,
1-0.
I can't see anyone winning this.
Right.
I can't see either of them winning this. I'm sorry. 1-1.
Fair enough. Thank you. Phil, what's your score prediction for this game? Because it catch the eyes of some people because Liverpool, their situation in particular was slop. But also West Ham need to drag themselves away from the drop zone.
Have West Ham won at home this season? Or I don't know if they have. I think they may have won once.
They have bad home form in general, though.
Yeah, you got a point. But then Liverpool just have bad form everywhere in general at the moment. Was it 8-9 defeats in the last 12? Something like that? I don't know.
Yeah. Just sorry to interrupt. West Ham's home form's been better since Nuno's come in because they beat Newcastle 3-1, then Burnley 3-2. But before that, they were winners at home for so long.
And then Liverpool's form, that hasn't been brilliant. To be honest, I know that every part in my body should say no to giving West Ham a result. But for some reason, given the way that they are playing under Nuno, I'm going 2-1 West Ham.
Phil, don't do it. Phil,
I've done it. I'm sorry. I've had to do it because that is literally the way that Liverpool are playing right now.
I agree.
They concede first. And even if they do get back into it, they look sloppy. And it was the same against PSV last night as well. You wouldn't have expected that. I know it's PSV and I don't mean to put them down. But if you look at the size of Liverpool and then the size of PSV and the players that they have, I think everybody would look at that and think, well, Liverpool's got that in the bag. But to come out of that game in a European qualifier and lose 4-1, it doesn't reflect well. I'm sorry. So I think 2-1 to West Ham is where I'm going, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to.
Do you know what I hear? I hear you, but see, last season we actually, to put it in perspective, we went away to PSV and beat them 7-1.
I have a theory about how I have a funny feeling the Liverpool look something. There's nothing. No one can tell me that the players have just gone to overnight. Nobody can tell me that. I have a feeling they've down tools. There's no other way of putting it. They've down tools. I know.
I feel like it's something similar to what Madrid had last season, where now they're actually kind of, Madrid as a unit, they're actually clicking, but now you've got Liverpool in a similar position to where Madrid were last season, where you had the big names of Vinny, you had Bellingham, Mbappe, Rodrigo, you had all of these big names in one team, and they're all trying to gel together, but it ain't working. And now you got the same with Liverpool. You got Isak, Wirtz, Ekitike, Salah, Van Dijk, and it's just not clicking. And people are saying, "Oh, we're just playing really badly," and I'm like, well, there's a difference between playing badly, but there is no connection on that pitch, especially watching that PSV highlight, like the highlights from that game. Like, there's just nothing connecting it at the moment.
Do you not think they've down tools?
No, I don't. I think they're going through trauma. I think they're going through trauma, and you should never underestimate until you experience serious trauma. I don't think that you should underestimate the impact of that, even on a professional football player. We have to remember that players are human beings. They're like, we want them to play three. Right now, I want Arsenal to play every night of the week because I'm so excited, but it's. At the same time, they are human beings, and they need to recover, and things need to be there. And the trauma is there. It is there. It's ripping out of Liverpool Football Club. And do you know what? I feel absolutely so heartfelt sorry for them. I really do. They're a major rival of mine. If it was Tottenham, I'd be exactly the same. And like at the start of the podcast, Harry, we spoke with Scotland, England. I'm like, I'm not that guy, but I personally think that I just feel so heartfelt sorry for Liverpool. They're a fantastic club, a great club, and the fans really need to just gel together, put your arms around your football club, and just, you'll come up the other end. And next season, as Phil said, it'll click and it'll bang. And at that point,
you think Liverpool are coming back next season?
100%, 100%. They have not signed like bad players. They have not. It's just that the
they've
players,
signed world-class players. It's just
exactly, and
they're
they've
not
just
linking
came
at the moment.
But they've came into an environment that is not normally a Liverpool environment. They've came into a Liverpool Football Club that is like suffering horrendous trauma.
This thing grieving,
yeah.
That's a good point.
And so for me, honestly, second half of the season, you watch Liverpool. I would actually put money on Liverpool being the most informed team from January to May in the Premier League. It will click. Wirtz is brilliant. Isak is brilliant. Isak's not had a pre-season. He went on strike at Newcastle. Like you could go through that Liverpool side and see where the flaws are. I'm telling you, just let these guys just get past Christmas, go into January next year. Liverpool will absolutely bang. So 2-0 still. 2-0 still. I'm trying to give them a bit of support, bro, Harry, because it's like they're going through torture. They're going through torture.
Yeah. No, they absolutely are. Before we move on from the games and go through to the panel one by one, I just want in or out, honest lot. do you think Liverpool should sack him? Well, do this slightly differently. I'd say we'll do sack or keep, just literally the word sack or keep, what you would do if you're in Liverpool's position. Mark, it comes to you. Do you think they should sack or keep Slot?
Keep.
Keep, okay. Is that for Arsenal's sake or Liverpool's sake?
No, Liverpool's sake. The one he's got credit in the bank.
Yeah,
You kept,
definitely has.
You kept Ange. You kept Ange and he won you the charity cup. So
You can never
I'm
win.
not answering that.
I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it, Mark. I'm not hearing it.
Oh, that is a good. Let's not go down that route. Thank you. Phil, Slot, sack or keep?
Keep.
Oh, okay, I'm surprised actually. Okay. Nipph?
Keep. Because getting rid will do more harm than good.
You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, keep.
Okay.
You got to think he won the
Surprised.
league with them last season. I just think it's
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
that things have
yeah.
gone this season. I think give it next. I think Liverpool will be on fire again.
Do you know what? How many? Harry, could you answer your own question with that? How many Premier Leagues did Klopp win in his
Say again?
tenure? How many league titles did Klopp win?
One.
He's kind of out for some reason.
I think one.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my headphones. They went quiet. Sorry.
No, sorry. Yeah, how many league titles did Klopp win?
I think one.
Yeah. But it's huge. I think it's huge what Klopp done. And some would say this is Klopp's team. Now it's going downhill. So you've got two arguments, haven't you? Some people going like, look, Slot didn't have too much to do last year. It's kind of that was Klopp's team. You have others that go, hang on a minute, Slot's got credibility.
But he won it. He won the
back.
Premier League. He won the Premier League instantly for them.
I feel like that's down to the fact though that Slot came into a team that had already been built for him, and all he had to do was just take him to a league title. And now Slot's brought in the players that he wants. It's more of a rebuild for him. So they've gone and won the title, and now they thought, right, we want to bring in Isak, we want to bring in Wirtz, we want to bring in Ekatike, Frimpong, Kirkes. They want to bring in all these players, and it's a rebuild, and it will continue to grow. But they've won the league, and now it's right. We're going to rebuild it, but this time, instead of winning one or two trophies, we're going to go for a treble. So a Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, one season, job done. And that's what we want to be known for under Slot.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think that's good. That's a very good point.
Coming to the last game then. Whoa, Chelsea and Arsenal. Why do you think I got a Chelsea and Arsenal fan on, right? I mean, I don't do everything right at all when it comes to podcast, but I did think strategically with this one. It's the London derby. I wanted both Chelsea and Arsenal fan on, and I knew that you two would clash just a little bit. Mark, I'll start with you, and then we'll come to Nipph. Mark, firstly, as the Arsenal fan, how are you feeling ahead of this game? You're joking before air in terms of how the season's boring, you're topping this, topping that. It could come crashing down in this game, couldn't it?
Absolutely not. Harry, see the fact that you've done this is the reason that you won that award. That's all I can say to you. That is like, it's all pinned on this moment, Harry. You'll win it next year because of this moment. Just make sure the content writers actually get to see this. Chelsea are away to their title challenge is way to be ended November, because Arsenal are going to be going 9 points clear. I could go through the Arsenal side. I'm so confident. I'm nervous going into a North London derby. I am not nervous going into Chelsea. This is a gimme. We've drawn the last two times there. When was the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal? You have no centre forward. You jump into a pre-season competition that you call the Club World Cup and win it and think that like you're on the money. You've got a battering ram up top that is battering like he should be working in a chip shop and doing some fish or something like that. I've no idea what he's actually doing. You've got Neto. I'll give credit to Neto. who will be playing right back, by the way, the whole game on Sunday. He'll be playing right back the whole game. Out with that, like Caicedo against Declan Rice. That's almost insulting to even compare the two of them. This like we are a way to absolute demolition. And you know what? See, just when you think if you've kept it tight and you parked the bus long enough, like Chelsea normally do, see when you think that is just a possibility that you're going to get a point out of this game. We're going to bring Odegaard off the bench. We're going to bring Martinelli off the bench.
So, Mark, sorry to interrupt, but you said there about Rice and Caicedo. So you think Rice's level's above?
There's not even an argument there, Harry. Harry, if you've been serious and you weren't a Tottenham fan, you would know who the real winner of that conversation is.
Yes, but as a Tottenham fan, I think both are excellent. And I don't like Arsenal or Chelsea. I think they're both two fantastic midfielders. I think Rice is probably ahead, but Caicedo's been really good this year. And he's maybe gone under the radar a little bit. Rice is up here, no doubt.
Yeah, I think both of them have. I rate Caicedo. I really do rate him. I think that he's probably a shining light out with Chelsea, and a number of bad signings that Chelsea have made. Caicedo has probably been the one. That good that Arsenal tried to sign him before they signed Declan Rice. But it is what it is, Harry. And honestly, Chelsea will not even a millimetre understand what's going to happen to them at Stamford Bridge this weekend. Last night, we have just absolutely destroyed one of the best teams in Europe. I'm not talking like a small team. We dominated last night like it was no tomorrow. What did Bayern do in the second half? Now he's going to come back, but we done 3-0 against Barcelona. What's La Liga done against Premier League teams in recent years? Absolutely zero. Look what we done to Real Madrid last season. Chelsea are absolute dog bleeps. And I'm not going to swear on your channel, Harry. I'm going to be.
Thank you.
I'm not going to swear on it. But they are absolutely, honestly, they are absolutely having a laugh. To come anywhere near Arsenal, Martinelli is going to do the same that he always does when he goes to the bridge and he's going to bang one in. That's just off that. Then we've got Odegaard. Who have you got coming off your bench to change the game? I could give you 10 players. Although we can't have 10 on the bench, I could give you 10 players with levels that would take on your first team. Bring on your Caicedo, bring on all your guys. We are a way to absolutely smash you. I'm going to give them, I said 3-1 on my podcast, Harry. I'm being generous and giving them a goal. 3-1. Okay. I'll stick with 3-1. I'm
Mark,
ready.
I know you are. You sound it. Thank you, Mark. And before we get to you, Nipph, and continue this game, I just want to say, in literally a couple of minutes' time, we'll go through all your questions. You've got 2 or 3 questions in the chat. We're just going to finish reviewing this game, this London derby, and then we'll get through some of your comments. Some really good questions in there. Arsenal, FPL. So we'll get to that in literally a couple of minutes. Nipph, I mean, you've got to respond to some of this. You know, Caicedo's been dug out, Chelsea's been dug out.
I have nothing to respond to because every time I'll try and counter it, he'll try to shut me down, so there's no point.
No, have a go. Go on. Push back.
No point. Bro. You were respectful. No, you were respectful towards me. You were respectful towards me. I'll go mute, bro. I'm not interrupting.
There you go. Go on.
And no, I'm not going to bring up the Barcelona game. But what I am going to bring up is I'm not going to take Arsenal lightly. I am actually scared of going into this game. But all I'm going to say is I don't want anyone disappearing if we win. I'm not confident. Look, I'm a realist here. I'm not confident going into this game.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. You're honest.
But I don't want anyone disappearing like Mark has right now. I don't want anyone disappearing when if something doesn't go their way.
All we can say it'll be Arsenal, hopefully, at the end of the year. That's all we can say for now. They fall away. Literally disappear.
Look, for me, it's if I'm coming down, you're coming down with me.
Love it.
If
But
we don't win-
he's called out Casado. He thinks that he's nowhere near the level of Rice. I'm hoping you're going to say something about that because Casado's been good. What do you reckon, Nippon?
Well, I am going to look. I rate Declan Rice. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
But I won't have Casado slander either.
No. All right. Thank you very much, Nippon. This is great. I'm loving this. Phil, I mean, it's the Who Hates Tottenham More derby. Which way is it going to go?
I mean, if there was a way for both of them to lose, I'd take it. But unfortunately not.
True.
I mean, on topic of if we go to the Caicedo-Rice debate, I'm pretty sure this was a story brewing from last season, and I would say that both are world class. I think they are incredible players in their own ways and the way that they work with their teams. And I wouldn't really say who's better. I think that's just not my business. I think if Chelsea and Arsenal fans want to scrap about it, then yeah, do it. I'm not getting involved with it. But I think given the way that Arsenal are playing, I know that they beat Bayern. I don't know, because Chelsea are very inconsistent in terms of the way that they can play sometimes, not all the time. I will go, due to it being a derby, it's away at Stamford Bridge, albeit Arsenal are very good right now. Just Arsenal 2-1.
Okay. 2-1 Arsenal. I love this. Okay. Thank you very much. Nippon, did you give a score prediction?
I haven't given it yet.
Go on, give it.
I really don't know.
He doesn't want to.
No, I know, he doesn't know.
If we lose, Mark won't let me hear the end of it. If we win, Mark won't be there to hear it. So I lose either way.
You got to pull off that Warrior Champions League trophy's got to be pulled out for the week, I'm afraid.
No, to listen, I'll just pull out a brown envelope. Nippon, I will be here. I've not gave the guys a hard time on the result last week. I mean, I could rip into two of them for last week.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. I will be here. I will be here next week. I've had a good week regardless. I've had a good week regardless. We're top of the leagues.
2 wins. Yeah.
Yeah, you're top of the league. But I don't worry about Spurs. I don't worry about Chelsea. I know that sounds arrogant, but I've lived 6 years or even longer of absolutely pain of Arsenal. And Arsenal are doing it the right way. We are sticking with the manager. We are finding the process and the project, whatever it's going to be, and we are just elevating each season all the way up. I'm like, even if I lose against Chelsea, I'm not like at the end of the world. I am not the end of the world. I'm top of the Champions League group. I'm top of the Premier League. If I beat you on the weekend and City somehow drop any more points, that the league's done in 2025. It's done. We win the league.
That confidence is crazy.
Mate, honestly, I am obsessed with Arsenal.
Dropped points. You've dropped points from bigger margins.
Not with this squad. When have you seen, like a serious question to everyone, right? A serious question. One of the best players at Arsenal Football Club at this moment in time, and this will shock you, is Gabriel. When have you ever seen one of your best players going out the pitch, cannot get out, he's out, and you're bringing in 2 signings, and both of them are just almost the same standard? When have you seen that?
Well,
what club have you?
Arteta's been backed, hasn't he? Really well. I think they've done the right thing and not listened to the fans that wanted to get rid of him and backed him, giving him time, giving him the money,
Exactly.
and Spurs should take a
Exactly.
leaf out of your book.
I think that's one
Exactly.
thing that I commend Arsenal on. Like, I know at the moment with recent results with us, like people have been shouting for Frank Houghton and whatnot, and I've always had this thought, like, I know that it's not the nicest thing to compare it to, and I do not want to commend Arsenal, but what they have done in terms of keeping Arteta there, backing him, getting the players that he wanted, and he's now got, having the depth of squad that he's got is insane. I know that we do not, well, for every other fan, we don't want to win, or we don't want to see Arsenal win the league. But I think if it's not this season, which it most likely will be, which I didn't want to have to say, it will be next season, 100%. You've got to
Do you
think
know
the
what?
squad that they have now is ridiculous. You add to that, I just, yeah, I don't know what else can be done.
Well, 100%. See, there was a time, see, 22-23 season, we brought in Jesus and Zinchenko from Man City, and also William Saliba came back from a loan deal. Arsenal signed him, and we kept him in France because unfortunately one of his parents died, and he came back over to Arsenal, and that season we were like a year ahead of the project of what we were doing. And I'm not trying to be arrogant or being like horrible to other fans. Just stick with your manager. Don't always think what's happening in your football club is get rid. Like, Ange, like, I'm not taking the piss here, Harry. Ange 100% should be sacked. Right, that is guaranteed. But if you get a manager like a Thomas Frank coming in, go start building your football club. If it takes 5-6 years, don't be a yo-yo. Man United, I remember arguing with loads. I've argued for the last couple of years on this. Man United won a couple of trophies, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. At that time, Arsenal were guaranteeing that they were in the Champions League getting 90 million out of that competition alone. Do you know what you get? How much money you get? I'm not trying to turn this into an accountancy thing. Do you know how much money you get for winning an FA Cup?
Not
£2
a lot.
million.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot.
£2 million. What would you rather do? Be in the later stages of the Champions League, get 90 million, where you could bring in a Zubimendi or these players, or go and win an FA Cup? Or
I'd say for you lot at the moment, you'd probably, if we were talking about this point last season, I'd probably say both, but I'd say Champions Leagues. For you, where you're at right now, that's probably where your ceiling is. That's where you want to be aiming.
But that's what Tottenham need to do right now as well. Tottenham need to just back down on their manager, 100%, get the structure in place, and then do what Arsenal did. I know you guys don't like hearing that, but just do what Arsenal did. Get into that top four and just push. Don't care. See, when it comes to the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, put your under-21s in there. Do not care. Just push. Make it one game a week for your players until you get into there. And then once you get in there, you will then... All of us have rich owners, but we've got FFP and PSR to go against. Every single club has got that. So we need to live within the rules. We're not all Chelsea where we can bend the rules.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's end then with the chat questions. Thank you all. I know that went over a bit, but it was a really good discussion, so I did want to continue that. So let's go through some of them then. We'll go right to the top and find the first question, because there are quite a few, but we'll try and do it in the best order as possible. So yeah, big up to everyone that has asked a question. So first one, I believe, is from We're Spurs TV. Yes, it is. He talks about Liverpool. He's gone back a little bit and said, why do the panel feel that Wirtz and Isak are not scoring? So how I'm going to do this is going to give just one of you a question. So, Phil, I'll give this to you. Why do you feel, as a Tottenham fan, to an outsider, that Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak are not scoring? I mean, Liverpool's struggling. Could that be directly linked?
I feel like... I can't remember who I was talking to about it earlier, but you take those two players and put them back in their old clubs. You had Florian Wirtz, who was pretty much the name of Bayer Leverkusen. He was an upcoming player, very, very, very talented young player, had a lot of promise and promising future as well, and especially when those Liverpool links came in. Then you look at Isak, he won them, well, he got that was it the second goal in the Carabao Cup final
Carabao.
against Liverpool. And even then, he was the main man. He was the star name within that team. And then you take those players out of that team and you put them all in one. And this is exactly what I mean, that you have so many of these players, not only those two, but a few more as well, which are such big name players, and you throw them into a team with another group of big name players, they're not going to perform. And I think not only for Isak, he's not getting the service that he needs, and that's coming from Wirtz because it's a different league. I don't think he's 100% adjusted yet. I would say he's not really getting the minutes that should be having. I don't know if he's found his position yet. I know that he's been getting like 60 minutes anywhere up to that mark. I don't know if he's played a full 90 yet. But as those two go, I would say that it's purely down to the squad that they're in. I mean, even if you look at Salah, he's been underperforming. And as we mentioned earlier, it could be down to the fact that the club is within a grieving period because of Jota. But as those big name players are, when we were talking about this before the season kicked off, people were saying, oh, well, we've got to give Wirtz maybe 5-6 games. And if he's not firing on all cylinders, then there's issues because we've spent so much money on him and we're not getting any end product. Albeit he's got, I think it's maybe like 3 assists now. I'm not sure. But in how many games is that? And he is worth that much money playing for Liverpool Football Club. And the expectation is so high. And I think that's what's causing a lot of issues, that the expectation of him was so high, and Liverpool fans and football fans in general have got so little now that it's, well, is he a flop? Like, we're nearly halfway through the season.
Yeah.
And he's now, I don't even think he's scored yet, which is mental. At least Isak scored, at least he's done his job. But for Wirtz, I would say, both of them anyway, that it's a case of not clicking, it's not gelling together as I think Arne Slot would have wanted it to and had planned it to as well.
100%. I agree with you. I think you put that across really nicely. Thank you, Phil, for that. Mark, going to give you Cyril's question in the comments. It says, anyone with an FPL team, are they thinking of swapping Gabriel for Timber and Saliba? And I'll put that to you, of course, being an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, definitely get Gabriel out your team, bro, because he's out for the next couple of months. Timber does bring up massive points. I wouldn't have Saliba in there. I would go Timber. If you're going to go for an Arsenal player, I'd go Timber, mate. That's where you'll get your points.
Good stuff. There we go. There's your question answer, guys. The only two that are showing on my screen. So apologies if you missed them. If you have more, get involved in the chat next time, and we'll absolutely answer them. But thank you. That wraps us up the Scarfey Talks Premier League podcast. It's been a good one. Sidetracked sometimes, but some really good discussions nonetheless for what ultimately was the Game Week 13 Premier League preview. But we'll be back, as always, Premier League podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:45 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So it's 4 podcasts a week on the channel, 2 at Tottenham, which are Monday and Thursday, and 2 Premier League, which are Tuesday and Thursday, which means you get a double on Thursday. This is my second one of the night. So I want to thank you to everyone that's listened, that's watched, and has contributed in the chat in some way, shape, or form, with loads of amazing people that listen and contribute. So thank you so much. And also on a personal level, thank you to all those that voted for me, that nominated me. So to win the Gold Award at the Football Content Awards 2025 was a big honour in the Best Young Content Creator category. So again, very, very grateful for that. It means a lot because it's a nationally recognised award, and actually an award recognised across Britain as well, and what's one of the biggest media award ceremonies within the football media. So thank you so much. A big thanks to my amazing guests tonight. Firstly, Mark, not bad for an Arsenal fan, but where can people follow you on the socials?
Just we're just starting our own podcast, Harry. So eventually, hopefully, we get an award. But guys, please jump over at the Ashburton Army. We are realistic fans, and we do try to talk without. There is a bit of banter. There's going to be a bit of fun, but just the Ashburton Grove. Please come over, give us a sub. It is very new. It's like just launching at this moment. So I appreciate that, Harry, and thanks for having me on. It's great having banter with other fans, so appreciate it, bro.
Good stuff. I mean, the Spurs podcast is great, but sometimes it can be a bit serious, a bit professional, going through all the stuff. So it's a little bit more light-hearted. That's why I introduced the Premier League podcast. But proud of the channel to now offer loads of different types of short, medium, and long-form content, depending on what time you have, what type of content you prefer. We do news for Premier League clubs, Spurs, and England. That's your short-form content. Medium-form content is your videos, anywhere between 2 minutes and about 40, 45 minutes. And then your podcast as well, your long-form content. And so many different stuff now. FPL, Tottenham, Premier League, England. We cover everything. Go check Mark out across all socials and his new podcast, which is some great stuff, Mark. Keep it up. So all the best with your podcast too. So thank you for coming on and for your time. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
No worries. Thank you very much. Very kind. Nipph, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people follow you or your channel if they're interested in checking out your content?
NS Sports TV. I'm about 20 subscribers short of 800. That's my main football channel. I have a lifestyle channel called The British Lifestyle Blogger, where I review airlines and restaurants and everything. And my X, formerly known as Twitter, is the Nipph and Sharma. You can go follow me on that. And my Instagram, and with 4 I's and 3 U's. And my other Instagram is Nipph and Reviews Cuisines. So
Great stuff.
Thanks for having me on, Harry. Much appreciated.
Anytime. Thank you so much, Nipph, for your time. And Phil, thank you. Your debut, I believe, on the Scarfey Talks Premier League podcast. So as Willsey said in the comments, absolutely need to get you on a lot more. Where can people follow you if they're interested across social media? Do you use any?
Instagram will probably be the main one. If anyone wants to talk football or anything, it will be on phil.06 on Instagram. So if anyone's interested, just drop a follow, drop a message, and I'll reply. But thank you very much for having me on, Harry. Much appreciated, mate, and look forward to any more podcasts that we're doing together.
Absolutely, I'll be in contact with you after that. All 3 of you, welcome back on. Thank you so much. Big up to the chat again. Thank you very much. And there's a lot of you listening, so I'd like to divert you to all the brilliant stuff as well that you can find from all these guys on your screen, but also at my own channel. But if you are new, please like and subscribe for podcasts of the week. Now, we've got an Arsenal fan in the comments. There we go. One of those. Maybe Mark is fault with him, but don't agree with you, your opinions with Arsenal. But, you're always welcome here in terms of, we do cover Arsenal with the Premier League news and also the Premier League podcast. So this channel is definitely still for you, but still cover your Spurs. But no, thank you to everyone that's watched. All the best and all good luck to your club for Game Week 13.
Come on, you Gunners.